And I welcome you all to our yet another class on research. And in today's session, we are going to talk about systematic literature review. Uh, in previous classes, we have talked about the important contents of research. And now, whenever we are moving to one of the major important aspects or one of the most important content, which is literature review. So we will try to learn about systematic literature review, and we will have a short training of searching on Science Direct and Google Scholar. We can have a very interactive session today. So let's start with some basic things. We all know that literature review is one of the most important content whenever we are talking about research. So basically, research literature review creates a firm foundation for advancing knowledge. It also facilitates in theory development. So through literature review, we explore areas where access of research exists. So we get information, we do a lot of research, and we come to know that what's happening all around, what people are working on. And then one of the most important thing, it uncovers the area where research is needed. So what already have done and what need to be done. So these are the two important aspects whenever we are talking about literature review. So so that's why we all know that literature review is one of the most important and significant aspect of research and research methodology. In either you are doing your research articles, your dissertations, your master or PhD, so that provide a firm foundation. Now, whenever we are talking about literature review, so usually what is the process we follow? We go to any databases, we search different terms, download research papers, and start writing. But now, let's talk about systematic literature review. So now we are not like anymore doing all these things, but rather we are coming up a very well defined strategy and methodology to conduct this literature review. So I repeat again. So systematic literature review is the process of literature review. But here we are more interested rather than going randomly and searching literature and talking about and writing literature. We are more towards, we are within the domain of well defined methodology, where our purpose is to identify, analyze, and interpret all available information and evidence related to a certain research question in a way that is unbiased. So whenever we are talking about unbiased, so we perfectly means that we are doing research, we are adding all the studies, we are not biased to which countries to be added, which authors, which journal to be added. So we are going a very on a large scale, we are doing all these things. But according to a certain methodology, according to certain protocols, according to certain norms that is set via systematic literature review. So we got the purpose that how a systematic literature review and a general literature review differs. So that follow a certain protocol, a certain methodology. Now, individual studies that contribute to systematic review are called primary studies that we collect for our analysis, and then systematic review that we write for our research question that become a secondary study. So we have two sources: your primary studies from which you are collecting all the information, and then you are coming up with a review which is based on all the primary studies, so that becomes your secondary study. So so that is how systematic literature review is totally different, where we uh, is a review process. Basically, systematic literature review is a review process, a review protocol, and there are certain protocols, certain norms, certain techniques, regulations, rules, policies, procedures, methodology that specifies the research question being addressed. So here we are more concerned about a certain protocol, a certain methodology. And we have a very predefined search strategy. So it's not a random strategy, it's not a random search, but a very predefined search strategy where each and every item, that how we will search and what we will search and what we are interested in searching, we will define each and everything with set certain protocols. Why we do all these things? The basic purpose is to detect as much of the relevant literature as possible. This is the core of systematic literature review. And we try to find everything that can be possible in order to address a certain research question. One thing again, I make you sure that whatever you are doing, systematic literature review or literature review, we are within the domain of a research question. We are addressing a certain research question. Okay. And why we particularly are specifically interested in systematic literature review? We want to summarize the existing evidence that we are, the basic purpose is basically we are interested in finding certain summaries concerning a given topic or technology or any research question. This is the foremost thing. We want to summarize the all the existing evidence, obviously based on existing previous research. And we want to identify any gaps in current research. The research gaps can be identified whenever we follow a certain methodology, a proper protocol in finding research. And this gap, so now we have once we do all these things, will be able to find a certain gap, and then we will come up with a research in order to get further investigation. And it also provide a framework or the background study in order to position a new research activities or to come up with a novel research idea in order to fill the gap that we have identified. So that is why we are interested in a systematic literature review. So we want to summarize the existing research, we want to identify the gaps, and we want to come up with a new research. This is the protocol process, or you can say the methodology of systematic literature review. So there are 5 major steps through which we can collect the data, we can say, through which we follow the protocol of systematic literature review. We start with identifying the research question. First of all, we want to identify the research question. I will talk about these things one by one. Then we identify the relevant studies. What are the different relevant studies are there? Then what study need to be selected for our systematic review? After we have selected certain studies, certain articles, certain research, certain journals, papers, whatever, then we extract or chart the data. Whatever the data we are getting, now we are getting and extracting the data from these databases, and then we collate, combine them, we summarize and report whatever we have achieved or whatever we have done. So remember these 5 steps that we are going to follow the protocol for any systematic literature review. The first thing, identifying the question. In identifying the research question, we are more interested in what is the population of interest, what that particular area, what that particular question, what that particular research area is talking about. What are the interventions, key findings, what we can get from this particular research? So it must be in line with our research questions. What are the outcome of the interest, that whatever the research question, whatever the literature we are searching, What are the different outcomes? What are the results of these findings? What should be the results of these findings, and how they will be helpful to address our research questions? And whether these study designs that we are collecting for our certain review, are they appropriate? Are they fall within the domain of research question, that whatever we are doing, whatever we want to achieve, will they satisfy our needs and wants according to our literature review? So once you are done with research question, then you go for identifying relevant studies, different studies that must be relevant to our research question or research uh, objective. Few things we need to understand before we are talk about identifying relevant studies. The studies that we use for our systematic review, for literature review, must be comprehensive. That must include each and everything. It may be the books, it may be book chapters, it may be journals, it may be uh, reviewed articles, it may be any conference papers, it can be any whatever the archival pieces. So, first thing, that the whatever the relevant studies, if anything that is relevant to our research question, so you have to collect it. A very comprehensive database must be there. Whenever we are talking about different comprehensive phenomena, we need to consider that there are multiple databases, and each and every databases have different their databases, different journals are attached with them, different topics they are talking about, different areas of research, so each and everything. And whenever we are talking about these multiple databases, so we already know the major databases like Scopus, Science Direct, PubMed for medical based studies, Google Scholar, and then Talleyrand Francis, Emerald. So there are number of databases that are available. So for a well identified, a very comprehensive literature review, we need to consider all the relevant databases. So we can use a multiple databases. Let's say in today we will talk about Science Direct and Google Scholar and how we can use these databases for finding a comprehensive or more relevant uh, literature. And we should consider various type of evidence. We have talked about like the literature basically exists in different forms. It exists in the form of books, it exists in the form of book chapters, it exists in the form of journal articles, peer reviewed journal articles, conference proceedings, conference papers, and other relevant information. They all must be considered for reviewing our research question. So various type of evidence must be collected. So a comprehensive and reproducible literature search is the foundation of a systematic review. So this is very important that whatever the studies you use, all the relevant study that must be very comprehensive studies that must be from different multiple databases and across different type of studies, let's say the books and journals and chapters and so on. The next thing, once we identify this thing, we go for data extraction. We extract the information. So basically for designing the data, extraction forms are always there. We will talk about that there different type of extraction forms are there and how we can use them to collect the available information needed to address the review questions, that whatever the our research question and the study quality criteria. If I talk about study quality criteria, so we may include, let's say, we already know there are different type of quality standards like impact factor. Let's say if we talk about their citations, so Scopus have different quality criteria. Let's say they are ranging from Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 articles. Then ABS. Australian business databases, ABS, A, B, C, whatever the category, and then within the ESI, Emerging Social Scientist Index, they have also ranking. They have also have different site scores. For Scopus, is SGRs and site scores, and all this information is basically define the study quality. So basically we also set our study criteria. Let's say we what we are interested to include in our information, or what is our we are interested to get information from the journals. Let's say we are only interested in impact factor journals, or all the articles which are published in highly cited articles, right, in a highly top 50 journals on of any research or something. So this is how we can define. So remember one thing, it is you that define the quality criteria, that what should be included in your systematic literature review. But remember, you don't be biased about the quality criteria. So that's why we are using the multiple sources and multiple criterias. What is need to be extracted? We are interested in the title, authors who have contributed, the name of the journal. We are interested in the date of data extraction, that whenever we have data extraction or whatever, we sometime we can use it, the date of publication. So either it extraction date or publication date. So the time duration for publication is date of extraction. Then what information we are interested to find it. So we have a certain questions that needed to be answered, so we get this information. Let's say what was the methodology, what was the research design, what was the sample, what was the significance of the study, what were the results, what were the variables. It all depends that what questions we are looking for and what question we are needing to be answered. So we fill all these forms, but these are the very important things. Additional notes we can say, like, okay, the databases, either that is Scopus Index, either that is Emerging Social Scientist Index, social expanded SSI, it's PubMed, whatever the databases are there. So we can sorry, we can come up with all these different additional notes.
So, Dr. Syed Qasim, just a point of clarification. You're talking about extracting information from the research done in the literature review articles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then doing one's own research is different.
No, it is like what I'm talking about, that I have a research question and I want to find every relevant information, right? Are you getting me, doctor?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You want to find
So
every relevant information for that research
relevant
question.
for the research question, but that research question is my research question. For that, I'm using literature review or systematic literature review. So I will get all the relevant information. So it relevant information, I will go and share with you the all other informations that is available. Then this is basically one of the prisma technique, or whatever we can say, that one of, if is it visible to you people? Sorry. Yeah, this one. There are different parts of process to including the studies, what we are talking about, what to include and what to exclude, and whenever we are excluding. So this is how there are different stages. The first stage is identification stage. In identification stage, we identify the databases searching. Remember, if you feel any difficulty, I will go to now Science Direct. I will give you practical example, that then we can know that how this n is calculated and how these n's are calculated. Okay, but still, uh, we will identify through databases different searches. Let's say the number will be there. If I'm searching something, so how many records I have found according, let's say, any journals, any articles, any book published, any book chapters, or whatever. And then if I am getting some record identified through other sources, let's say I'm using some library archives and other thing, so that become the total duplicates, total numbers of search that I have collected. Then obviously if I'm using the two sources, so maybe there may be some duplicates, so I will remove, so I will get a certain number. Let's say I got 70 over there, 70 over from identified through databases, and 30 from here, so total are 100, but there are few duplicates, so I left with 80. So now I have 80 records. So this is my screening process. I will screen the record. Screen means that I will address whatever we have talked about. I will check the research question. And if you remember, if I when I was talking about research questions, so we are, is this is important for us. It will whatever the it will answer the question that is what we are interested in. So we may have screen records, screening of all these articles, and then we can may exclude few if we think that this is not relevant or this thing is not contributing to my research question, or this is just like linked with, but it's not getting any information. So we can exclude these articles. So now we left with full text article accessed for eligibility, that we have set our eligibility criteria, let's say. Now again, this is follow whatever we are talking about in protocols, that what we are looking for. Are we looking for all the research that is conducted in emerging markets? So this is now our eligibility criteria. So now I will exclude the text with a reason that why. Let's say there are studies which were conducted in developed markets, so I will exclude one by one. So I have a certain reason, and I need to report these things. Basically, in systematic review, we are reporting all these things, that we have excluded these studies. So then we have included all these studies which are like fulfilling the eligibility criteria, and then we go for a proper analysis. So this is how we combine different studies. Next, whenever we got this information, we should tabulate it in a manner that is consistent with research question. So we come up with a table, different tables. We put all the information where we are interested to find the similarity and differences between the outcomes, that whatever the different studies have been conducted, of how they are different, which studies are different, which are similar studies in terms of their results, basically in terms of their findings, in terms of whatever they have done the research, how they are similar, how they are different, in terms of sample, how they are similar and different, in terms of findings, in terms of methodology, or in terms of whatever the criteria we have set. And then we present the outcome of our systematic literature review in a comparable way. We can have yes, no in terms of binary. Are they different? Are they similar? We can have either binary yes, no, 0, 1, or we can have some numerical values in terms of how much they are different if we put certain statistical tools. This is the final, whatever we are talking about, SR outcome documentation. What is required information? Journal or thesis? Is it a journal or thesis? What is the title? Who are the authors? Executive summary or abstract? Background of the study? Results in terms of description of primary studies or quantitative measures, if there are certain quantitative summaries of the results, discussion, findings, what are the findings discussed, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the study. It all depends that from here, maybe we are our research question is not going to address the strength and weaknesses, so we can exclude. But the major thing that we can get from systematic literature review, each and every information about a certain paper, what is their interpretation, and then the summaries of whatever the generalizability of the findings. So this is the final outcome that we can get from reviewing all and each and every article. Now, I have basically Science Direct access. I'm not sure that how many people currently having this access. So just I have also in the slides, and I'm also going for a live search on Science Direct just to give you an idea that how we can use different research search tools in advanced search options to come up uh, with this n that we have calculated and very refined sort of research. So uh, I'm going to I will again explain this in the slide, but I'm just giving you a very practical sort of information. So let's say my screen is visible to you people, right? I am on Science Direct databases. Dr. Lambert, my screen is visible, right?
Yes, it's visible. It's visible.
Finding my unmute button. Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay,
We see the presentation in PowerPoint. Do you want to open it up to a full
okay, okay,
presentation?
okay. I'm
It'll be
just
easier for the students to read if it's opened up because some of the letters is kind of small.
okay. No, I'm going for sharing my screen where I'm using the databases.
Oh, we don't see the
Wait,
we
wait.
don't see the presentation opened up.
I'm just opening my databases. Just
Oh, one of the students is asking to have the PowerPoint uploaded into chat. Just in the meantime, I put a link or I put a document into chat for the seminar from Dr. Mohammed Shahidul
uh,
about
now
about
my
publishing your
now my
research.
s- sorry, Lambert, doctor. Now my
Yep.
screen is visible. Science Direct.
Yes. And now we
Okay,
see the sciencedirect.com.
okay. So I open Science Direct and I'm using any terminology. Let's say I'm searching for social sustainability. So I will use the search option. The moment I write social sustainability, I found about 6 million results. Uh, Dr. Lambert, can you interact with me? So if I ask anything, so then
Yes.
okay. So the moment I entered social sustainability term, let's say I'm doing a systematic literature review on social sustainability. I just write a term, and you feel did you can you find there? I found about 6 million results.
I
It's
see that
mean
number
there are
647,009.
6 million, almost 6.47 million results I got. That there are 6 million research articles or whatever they talked about or they have published social sustainability. Now, I will just go to advanced search, and now I will use in title. Now I am interested in title. Look, I give you simple example. When I write social sustainability, in anywhere in the literature, if there is a term social or if there is an any term of sustainability, I will find result. Okay, maybe, but now I am interested in that one term, that is social sustainability. You got my point? Social is a separate. Now Science Direct is treating social separate and sustainability separate. Anywhere it if found social sustainability, it giving me a result which are 6 million. Now I am using the advanced search, and I'm giving the option that only in title, if there is social sustainability, if there is an any term in the title of the article, search for me. I go to the search, and now I find 1356 results. So see, now my research is uh, down to 1356 results, which mean there are 1356 almost research search, which is basically on the title of social sustainability.
It's nice that it saw the word sustainable also, which is similar to sustainability.
Yeah, but now it's only talk about sustainability, right? So one more thing, if I go again to Science Direct. now Now there are a few important things. If we go to the if we go to this thing, now we have review articles which are 99, research article which are 1073. There are encyclopedias of 14. There are book chapters of 59, conference abstracts are 19, book reviews are 20, and so on. So this is the all information that is available. Let's say we go to research articles. Now we have 1073 results. So there are total 1073 results which are available to us now. One more thing, when you use this advanced search, we can have a subject area. What is our subject area? We will define each and everything. What subject area we are interested in? Let's say if we are interested in some social sciences research, so we got 299 results. This is how we can come up exactly what articles we are required or what we are actually looking for. Then we can find now different journals which are like publishing more and more. Let's say 30 articles have been published in Procedia Social and Behavioral Sciences. 19 articles have been published in Environmental Management. Research, Reserves and Recycling got 14, and so on. So here we can find there are publication of the articles which are different articles, different fields are there. So we can have subject area. Then we have year-wise summary. In 2024, 34 articles have been published. If I go to check to this thing, so now I will get only 34 results for all the uh, 2014 2024 paper which are published on social sustainability. So on we can move to, let's say, how many paper have been published in 2024 in case of Journal of Environmental Management. So we got three results. So now we are getting more and more information that these in social sciences there are three main areas. Within that social sciences, Journal of Environmental Management had published three journals research articles in 2024, right? So now what we can do, we can go and download all the selected, or we can export to our library so we can get all these articles. So the purpose of this advanced search is basically it give you the exact articles. But one thing we need to understand, one thing we need to make sure, that our protocol must be there. Now this is the protocol that I was talking about, which journals to be included. So I have now three, let's say if I'm not giving any proxy of time period, and I'm not interested in time, and in that case I can get 19 results. So we can get multiple information from only from this Science Direct, from this databases. How many paper have been published, who are publishing, where articles are published, right, in which year, how many journals have been published. So we are extracting all this information, and then we will tabulate all this information over there. So now, going back to our slide, I just give you a brief whatever we have done over there. We have used the term social sustainability, and I got about 6 million results. I just give the title that I am not interested in social and sustainability. Rather, I am only interested in the title. If anywhere in the journal there is a title of social sustainability, give me results. So you see, now I have 1354 results. Let's say, furthermore, let's say now what I am interested in. I'm not interested in social sustainability. I am looking, my research question is exactly about impact of social sustainability. So now the term social and sustainability, the term social sustainability, I'm not interested in. My research question will address by the exact title which I am interested in, to find the impact of social sustainability. The moment I have written the impact of social sustainability, now I got 78 results. It's mean from 6 million to 78, there are 78 research which is conducted on the term impact of social sustainability, which what that is basically our research question. Now we can find that within that 78 results, there are 4 review articles till now have been published. There are 68 research articles, there are 3 book chapters, and there is 1 book review. What we are talking about, that we must include each and everything. So now my 78 article that I must include for my systematic literature review is available with me. And one more thing, let's say if I only select research articles. Let's say I'm not interested in review articles or book chapters or book review. I'm just giving you an example. Otherwise, I can use all 78 result. But let's say I'm only interested in research article that address my research question. So now I get 68 articles. 68 research articles are available with me to conduct a comprehensive systematic literature review. The rest of the literature review is not addressing my research question. So now I am sure that, so I can put this thing in terms of n. You got my point, that how we can use n. I go back to when I was calculating this table. You see now how many records I have found before, how many additional records I found, what are the I have done some screening. What was the reason that I have excluded few? We have excluded why we have excluded the few things. We have excluded the records. How many articles are there? And now we have how many? 68 articles we have, for which I am going to conduct a review. So 68 articles. These are the subject areas. Let's say 23 in environmental science, 21 in energy, 15 in engineering, social sciences 14, and so on. And then year wise, in 2024, 30, for 24, 13 articles have been published, 11, 10, 9, and so on. This we can also use on Google Scholar. So I request you all, please, can you open your Google Scholar and do a research with me? Since I'm not giving you an training on Science Direct, I'm not sure that everyone have access. Although I have institutional access, that's why I'm using it. So can I give you a brief idea of how we can do this on Google Scholar? Do we have some time, Dr. Lambert? We can do this practice on Google Scholar.
Absolutely. It's wonderful to see the knowledge applied to see how you actually use it.
Okay. So let's say I just ask anyone, give me any terminology, please. And you also, I request you all to open your Google Scholar, and we will just use a few terminologies that how we can come up with exact information that is required for our systematic literature review. Yes, any terminology, please. And I request you all
Yes.
to open your Google Scholar and write something.
Yeah, you can write into chat if you have a term or a topic that you want to research in Google Scholar, and then Dr. Syed Qasim will actually put that into Google Scholar for you. Anybody want to write something?
My screen is visible to you people, right?
Yes.
I am on Google Scholar now. Any term, please.
There we go. Women health and nutrition.
Women health. Let's say women health. If I click, how many result I found? Again, 6 million.
Yeah.
So it's mean now this Google Scholar give me all the research whenever in any article, in any book, in any journal, there is a term woman, or there is a term health, or there is a term women health. All right, you got my point. Let's say if there is an article in which only the term woman has been used, I will get this article over there. But I'm not interested in women and health. I am interested in only women health. So what is now, I will go to advanced research. So we have three bars over there, Google Scholar. You can see the three bars. I click there. I go to advanced settings. In advanced settings, I will select in the title of the article. I just need in the title of the article. I click. Now it reduced to 1.8 million. You got my point? Now we have 1 lakh and 18,000 results we have found. Still, we want to come to the exact point. Let's say we can use this now again. Remember this thing, even if it is in the title, so it can be women and health. It is treating it a separate thing. Now I will use exact phrase. I will put colon women health. It's mean now I will looking for an individual term, that is women health. Click. Now there are only 17,000 results. 17,000 articles have been published on women health. Okay, go again. What we are interested in? I Can you repeat for me that what was the exact phrase? Women health
And nutrition.
and nutrition. So now there are 10 research which exactly talks about women health and nutrition, right? We can also have we can exclude women health and nutrition. Now what we can do, I will just increase it again just to look for uh, some more advanced search. Let's say there was 17,000 results, but I go again, advanced search. I am interested in the studies have been conducted. Okay, systematic literature review, usually we consider 2 to 3 years. All the studies in the last 2 to 3 years, let's say. So let's say 2020 to 2024. This is all the protocols I have talked about that we define our methodology. This is our protocol that I am only looking for the studies between 2020 and 2024. Okay, so there are 4,720 results between this time period. We can also have some relevance, sort by relevance. So now they were relevant and sort by date. Let's say now the latest studies and previous studies. Although Google Scholar have very limited options of advanced research as compared to whatever we have done in Science Direct, Scopus. If we have access to Science Direct and Scopus, then we can do a best systematic review. Although there are certain limitations since this is free variant which is available, we can also use this advanced search in terms of returned articles published in, if we know few journals. Let's say I'll just give you any, we can use any journal name, let's say on health. If there is any health journal I'm interested in, you see, in Health Journal, 267 articles have been published, and I can have an access to all these 267 results. So, coming back to our uh, slides. So now this is that how we can do systematic literature review via Google Scholar. I have both Science Direct. I have uploaded each and everything. All the screenshots are there. How we can use these different options both in Science Direct, and this is one is Google Scholar. I use the same social sustainability term with 7 million, and then I have used different terminologies, and finally I can have the relevant articles which are I'm interested in. Now this is the final thing, summary of results. Now I will. There are few whatever according to my term that we are tabulation. This is the tabulation of whatever the studies have been. Date. So we can have any ascending or descending dates. Authors. Perspective of the research. It was about implied trends. It was about discrimination in hiring. It was about whatever, which was the origin of the country, Australian, African, USA, Switzerland, Hungary, and so on. What was the sample? Six senior managers, profile of interviews, stakeholders, training programs, and whatever. This is the information that we are getting. What was the method have been applied in terms of quantitative, qualitative, or mixed? What were the key findings? This is the table of your systematic literature review of, let's say, 68 articles. So I will list all 68 articles over there. it's not necessary that you only use these 6 or 5 tables. I go back. I was talking about that how we can tabulate from there: journal, title, author, executive summary, results, strength, principal findings. You can use the all the relevant according to your research question. You can use and you can report it. If you can see that how we can report the outcomes or documentation. So these are the different things which are available over there. So this is how we use the summary of our results. So we can have a very systematic review of all the literature with a proper terms, with a proper methodology, with a proper inclusion and exclusion of articles for our review. So
Let
that
me
is
let
all
me
about.
just, Dr. Said, if you can go back and bring that one screen up again with your tabulation, I would request the students to take a photo or a screenshot of this. This is
All right,
extremely helpful.
all right.
So these summary results, this is something the researcher themselves have to look at their literature and then write into their tabulation this information. This isn't
Yeah,
just produced.
yeah. This tabulation now, how this tabulation will help. You have all the key findings. You have all the methods. You have all the samples. You have all the countries, what research have been done and what need to be done. You can get from this one table. I'm not saying this one table, it may be on 2 3 4 pages, let's say 78 articles, but the summary of this is 68 article can give you a detail. Even you can write a paper on any topic, just presenting this thing, right? uh, you're not doing any other thing, you are just doing a systematic review. At the end of that thing, let's say if we are doing any research but we are interested, we find these sort of papers, a systematic review, so we can get detailed information. So you can even find these articles which only publish this information, and that is most relevant and really helpful for your literature review, in order to find what have been done and what need to be done. You see, if you compare key findings, you can get the answer.
And remember, you can add columns to this. Like
Yeah,
if you want the
yeah, yeah.
contact information for the author, like their email, if
Yeah,
you can
you
get
can
that,
use like which databases they have been published. You can use the category: ESI, Scopus, ABS, A category, B category, impact factor. It all depend on you that what you are interested in. So this
because
is all about
there's a question
for.
in chat. How did you upload the articles to this site?
No, no, this is not. I'm not uploading to the
Okay.
site. Basically, I'm downloading and reviewing myself, and I'm getting an information. I'm making this table in an Excel form.
Okay, I don't see any questions more questions in chat. I don't see any hands raised. Up, Jima Musa, you're first to go.
Good evening, Lambert and Said.
Yeah. Good evening.
My question is identification of Richard's question.
Yeah.
There is some question here. Identifying the Richard's question. Number one is what is the population of interest,
Yeah.
and what are the intervention?
Yeah.
This question, who is going to ask this question? Is it the
No, no, no. This is like
student or?
if okay. I'm just giving you that I'm conducting a systematic literature review. Okay, and I have a question. I will just assess the article that if I'm reading any research paper, if this research paper gives me these answer, that what is the population of interest to whom this study has been conducted, so I'm getting this information from that research article, right? That is it satisfying my research question. Let's say my research question is impact of social sustainability. I have downloaded research question, and whether this article is going to give me the relevant information or not.
Do you guys
Okay,
have
thank you.
Okay. Okay, now we go to Ismail. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Dr. Cousin.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My question is this. For the researchers to ensure the validity and reliability of their research findings, how can they stay updated on new publications for the systematic literature reviews and development in their field?
Okay. Like we have to define the protocol that I was talking about. Usually, systematic review we do for last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? We are doing a systematic review for the last time period. Since we are using, you see, what is systematic review? We are using the primary research, which is already have been published. And now we are coming up with a secondary information that is our systematic review. So all the relevant published information we can use, let's say till 2024. If I use any database, you see that we have done. So till now, 2024, all the published articles, I can only have access to them. Anything that is not published means that is out of access. So we cannot use this thing. And secondly, if we are using the databases like Science Direct, there are articles which are published in Science Direct. There are databases like Terran and Francis, Emerald, Google Scholar. So if I'm using the multiple sources, the most likely the more relevant information is already there, right? And then we can use only the scholarly articles like the actual databases that we must include in order to confirm the validity and reliability that our research and our scholarly work and that is already published with the databases.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, good question. Let's go to Faziana.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. My question is for the summary result in our student portal for our final thesis, we have a system of format. So that we have to input our thesis, whether it's description, whether is. So how will we input our summary result with the column, with the rows?
This you can
format.
use in your systematic at the end of literature review. Let's say you can put all this summary in literature review section, and you can use like Excel or anything like this is the if you can do it in Word, it's okay. If you can use in Excel,
The
so you can,
formatting in the final thesis is not like Word, like Microsoft Word, the
yeah.
Windows. The formatting is different, and I want to put it in a tabulated form. I
No,
cannot.
you can put it in tabular form. Let's say if you cannot put in a tabular form, then you can present this summary. You can write something and then you can present in your annexures at the end of the references. You can put like
Okay,
annexures
thank you.
as a
Thank you.
tables. But usually, if you conduct a literature systematic review, you put inside your research in the table forms. But let's say if there is an issue, you can put it in annexures.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, now we go to Elvis.
Good afternoon, Professor Lampard.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, and Dr. Syed.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, my question is simple, Dr. Syed. In terms of the literature review, you've talked about in detail literature review, but my question is, in terms of the sampling and sample size formulation for a medical research, what is the standard in terms of the sample size that can actually reflect the exact picture on the ground when you're doing research?
Actually, it depends on your research. Either you are doing primary research, you are doing questionnaires. So usually there are techniques. In last lecture we have talked about, although this is not relevant to today's workshop, but you can use different techniques of sampling. Let's say usually 4 to 500 sample is enough. But let's say if you are doing an expert opinion, let's say and there are few experts in any field, you can use 20, 30 experts. There are AHP that only take 20 experts as a sample, and that is relevant. For secondary data, you can use up to, like, you can use for lots 20 years data of a country. You can use 50 years data. Either that is a time series data, it is panel data, it's primary data, secondary data. So it depends exactly on the type of study you are conducting and the research question that you are. So only and then you can find that what is the exact sample size. In, let's say, in snowball sampling, usually 300, 400, 500 questionnaires are enough. In time series, we have a total different standards. In terms of primary research, we have different standards. In terms of qualitative, where we are doing interviews, usually 5 to 10 and 20 interviews are more than enough, right? There are articles who have published 5 interviews, and they are considered as a best. But it is how you define and how you justify how many sample size exactly suits your study.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's an excellent question. Thank you, Ellis.
Thank you, Doc.
We now go to Bala Musa.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Doctor, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you,
I'm
Bala
good.
Musa?
I'm good.
That's great.
This lesson has been very interesting to me. I find it very interesting, and based on my own label, I feel this is not enough for me. I think I need more on this lesson.
Right.
And I am saying this because during your presentation, you asked us to go to Google Scholar. I was struggling how to go to Google Scholar so that I'm online. I'm following exactly you as you were explaining, but I found it difficult. So I mean, students are at different levels. I want to say that I need more on this because I find it very interesting. For one day or the other, I will need it in my write up before I get to my graduation. So please, this is for you and for Dr. Lambert. I find this very interesting.
Okay. Uh, uh, Dear Bala Musa, thanks for your comments. One thing I have, when I was giving this training, I was doing online at the same time. In my slides, I have all the screenshots. So either in next class or whatever, if you feel according to whatever the, if I get the chance to represent this thing, or I can do it again. But at the same time, you can find it in my slides. I have shared these slides with your coordinator. So hopefully you will get these slides as well. But it's all depend that whether we have another session and then we can use it again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we go to Omolola. Omolola, can you activate your? I think we can hear you now.
Thank you, Dr. Lambert and
Dr.
Shai. My question is the link shared by Anufo on AI note taker. I was much interested in that. I clicked on it. It was really giving me details of what you're saying, but I'm asked to get access. I requested for the access. Now I'm not able to download. So I've asked, how do I download it? So that, because that is really, really detailed. It has questions from all the students here and inputs. That's one. But you've also answered the second question that I had. Do we get access to the PowerPoint that you've just presented? Thank you.
Sorry, I couldn't get the first question exactly, but for the second answer, I have shared my slides with the coordinator. Hopefully, the soon everyone will get this. Dr. Lambert?
Yes. I looked on the website, on the student platforms. Your presentation is not there yet. So I would imagine it's going to be there by Monday.
Okay. Till now, I have already shared with the coordinator on Upwork. I have shared the both yesterday last class and today's session. I have already shared. Sorry, I couldn't get the first question. Maybe there was some internet issue.
Yes. Okay, so then we should move to Ismail for the next question.
Sir? Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, I have another question. But before the question, I would prefer the PowerPoint of today's lesson. If you can send it to the chat box for us, it will be more preferable to go over it for redirection of learning, and it will help us. Let me go to the question, sir. How can researchers effectively communicate their findings on the systematic literature reviews to a non-academic audience?
Actually, let's say if you are presenting maybe in that case, let's say you are talking about a research report, not a article. So research reports are always there. Rather than a research article, reports are there that you submit to government, that you submit to any funding agency or whatever. So now the purpose of the report is totally different, right? Again, in an academic systematic literature review, you find these things according to a very systematic way. Now we can again that so basically what was the takeaway, key takeaway? The key takeaway is we have a very systematic way of going to something in order to exclude or in order to avoid any biasness. That is why we are doing all these things. We are not biased that what study need to be included. I just go to my search bar, I include 10, 15 studies, and if I'm not going to add anyone else. That is just like I'm in very, I feel convenient with these 10 or 15 articles, and that's it. So this is how, if that is not a pure academic research, then the report might be a different report. So we have to present our finding according to the user of that particular report, either that is for policy making, either that is for a certain institution, whatever the government submitting to the government or anyone. So the purpose will define that what need to be presented, but we can follow the systematic way of presenting or collecting all the information for an effective